discuss upon decision making. In the previous sessions, we have been discussing on planning and how the planning process are, what are the types of planning, what are the limitations of planning. Here we are going to discuss upon the decision making process. So very good morning to everyone. So decision making, what do you mean by decision making? Once you have a good set of plan, and then you have to come out with proper decisions at the regular interval of time. A decision is a choice between two or more alternatives. Decisions are made by the managers and actions are taken by others. Decision making is the commitment which has to be shown, and there are three things which we have to look into. When manager makes decision, they are choosing, they are the decisions what to do on certain basis. Managers have alternatives available when they are making the decision. So decision making is very important, and the main thing is that decisions has to be made as per the situations as well. So managers have a purpose in mind, and when they make a decision, so we have to make sure that what should be your outcome when you come out with this certain decision at this point of time. So decision making plays a major role in any industry. Upliftment as well as a small change in decision can give a drastic downfall as well. So it is very important to take up the right decision at the right interval of time, and situation also matters. So the manager has to be very keen in decision making process. So, what are the types of decisions? Decisions are classified as programmable and non-programmable decisions. So, programmable or non-programmable decisions taken within the previous policies, rules, and procedures. So, which we have discussed before. There are routine discussions on structured decisions, and non-programmable decisions are called as strategic decisions, which we have seen that which we define for a longer duration of time, and this involves heavy expenditure, because we'll be having a very systematic approach for a longer duration of decision making process. So it has to be like you call it as a we take all these decisions in a group. All group of individuals put together, they come out with a decision that yeah, this can be performed or not. So then you have individual and collective decisions. Like group decision making has advantages like increase acceptable, better communication and better coordination. So sometimes you may have to come out with individual decisions, or based on the requirement you may have to take the collective decisions also. You have to take up the opinion of your peer members and come out with a better our decision making process. You have major and minor decisions. Major decisions are related to the minor decisions are related to day-to-day activities, whatever decisions you take, like purchase of stationery, then leaves, permission, etc. All these things are minor decision-making process. You have major decisions which can impact the entire industry, generally done by the top management. Example, purchase of new machinery, employing new technology, or hiring new people. All these things can be considered as a major decision making process. Then we have strategic and routine decisions. Like strategic decisions are generally done by top management. Example, price increase, or you just increase the price of the component commodity, or put the discount for that, change in product range. All those things has to be taken care by the top management, and which are strategic and routine decisions which takes place. And routine decisions are day by day decisions which changes day to day, and it has to be taken care at most priority. So then we have simple and complex decisions. Then we have, as we all know, that sometimes we get complicated problems, and you have to come out with a proper decision so that it will balance the entire system. Then you have temporary and permanent decision making process. Some decisions are to be taken depending on the situation till the solution is found, and permanent decisions are taken on the permanent basis. So sometimes some decisions has to be very much stubborn, and you have to uh, make sure that it is very much required for the industrial growth. So decision making process steps in rational decision making, as we have seen, recognizing the problem, then deciding priority among the problems, diagnosing the problem, and developing alternative solutions or course of action, measuring and comparing the consequences of alternative solutions, act then converting the decision into effective action, and then last is follow up action. So this is what you can say that the chart all about. So all the decision making process has to come across this decision making process or steps in the decision making. So what you can say is recognizing a problem, whether the problem is uh, how much depth is there in the problem, then deciding the priority among the problem, whether you have 10 to 20 problems which is of high priority. Problem diagnosis has to be done. You have to split the problem and then think of uh, how it can be overcome. Then you have alternative solutions has to be there, studying and comparing the effects of all. So it has to be evaluated at the best possible way and implementing the decision into an action. Then finally you can come out with the result. So this is how the process goes on. So let us just talk about the recognition of problem. A problem may exist either due to the deviation from the past experience, deviation from plan when competing with outperform, and when people bring problems to the manager. So these are some of the cases where you have to recognize the problem and deciding the priority. So manager must identify the problem which can solve, which he feels that his subordinates can solve. So he can classify that, and then problem diagnosis has to be done, where the manager should follow the system approach in diagnosing the problem, and through study need to be arriving at the solution. So you have to just go deep into the problem and see that whether it is your involvement is required or it can be solved by your subordinates. So development of alternative solutions, always you have to come out with some alternative solutions in order to uh, solve the problem. Then we have studying and comparing the effect of alternatives. So you may have one problem with two to three alternative solutions. So which one is best suited and which has the best analyzing capability to clear the problem without much impact on the industry. So then you have implementation of the decision into action. It requires the communication of decision to concentrate employed in clear and simple terms. It has to be discussed and brought into action. So study of results, the manager has to carry out the following action. If the result is not satisfactory, the manager has to take the necessary corrective action to modify this, and proper decision has to be brought in, and any wrong situations or wrong time the decisions has been brought, he has to correct. And also he has to look in the external factors, lack of support, what are the subordinates, how they are going to react to that. Everything has to be taken care by the manager when he come out with a decision making process. And for every industry, a proper decision making is very much compulsory, so that you don't uh, go as a loser, then you have to be a winner. So so that's very important, that a right decision at the right interval of time makes a lot of difference in any of the industry. So that's what we have to understand, the importance of decision making. So I will conclude with this, and we will meet with some other topic in the next class. So thank you all for being part of this. Thank you all.